Hey there, friend. How are you? Welcome to Soulvine. This is Jamie. Let's check in, friend, our Pisces. What is going on and how I can best support your journey today? I have a feeling here with the energy coming through. There is something in the back of your mind at the moment on kind of looking at what you should be doing next. So let's see what this energy is about and what you need to know and how we can best support your journey. If you are new here, hello and welcome. And if you feel called and connected and you've been here a while also, please like and subscribe to the channel. It does help the channel. It helps people stay connected. It helps us in terms of the energy, and just share the love. So letting you know it is much appreciated if you feel called and connected. Now today, guys, in terms of the current energy, we do have the Two of Voices showing up here along with the Four of Materials. Now, when we connect into this energy in the current place, there is something here, like I said, that maybe in the back of your mind of should you be staying put, perhaps. There could be a question mark of staying put somewhere. Maybe this is about, is this supportive for you? Maybe this is something you don't want to let go of, or there is concerns if you let go of it. There may be issue from a financial front, or, are you going to get what you need from this situation? Is it going to be supportive? Is this something, pardon me, that you can navigate your way through? It looks like you kind of know the direction that you're going, but there is a bit of a crossroads in the same respect. But I feel that you know which path is the one that's going to allow you. It's like you're walking into something, acknowledging here. I don't know if you can see this because the crossroads are here, but it's like the path is. There's something about going back and reflecting that I think is going to be important here. And I say the reason I've never noticed this with this deck, and this is what I love with sometimes tarot and the things that the energy wants to point out here. There's two paths, and as you get closer, what you find is there is a common theme, a common goal that you have. And I think in terms of this decision-making process, what is that firework? What is that light? What is that energy that allows you to go, I've made the right choice, I've made the right decision, and it's supporting me? But I feel like there is a trust in the process, because I feel without making a decision or making the decision based on the clarity of what it will bring for you, maybe timing is a factor or something of that nature, but it just seems like there is a part of honest feedback or honest truth to recognize. And whatever the basis of the outcome is, meaning what's the reason you would stay and what's the reason you would go, or what is the reason that you would go a different direction, because there is something pulling and calling at you. And I think that's what you need to remember here. Is it how you're treated? Is it, is it about, is this thing giving life to you or taking away from you? I don't know what particular circumstance this is. This is a general read, but there is something about the decision-making process. And I do feel you're kind of tearing yourself up a little bit, or this situation or dynamic is, kind of making it challenging, but there's either a financial component or, something or someone you don't want to let go of. And that could be part of the challenge, especially if there's money involved in terms of the financial support or the financial stability. Maybe that's where the comfort is, but is that true comfort when you take the whole situation into account? So it's finding that solution is what it feels like is coming up here. In terms of the challenge, you have the Five of Emotions. Now, these Five of Emotions here, that's the Five of Cups. So there is something here that has left you feeling that is lacking here on an emotional front, okay? I feel like there's definitely disappointment around this circumstance or around this situation. And that's why maybe this is challenging. Maybe this is a situation you weren't expecting to come into play or show face, or that you had to deal with right now. Because, yeah, it's definitely something that's let you down. And the awakening energy, number 20. If you're new here, or are here often, I don't read reversals. What I do read is energy. What this is telling me, though, in terms of this decision, I think there's a part of you, two parts. I feel you feel somewhat in control and making this decision, but I think you also feel like someone else is making this decision for you. And there feels like a bit of forced energy is how this is coming across. Maybe being a bit strong-armed or strong-hold on this challenge or on this direction. It feels a little forced is the way that this is coming across, okay? Let's have a look how the past is impacting you here. Again, okay, there's either something going on the work front or around your position in a situation, okay? Because you've got the Three of Voices and the Queen of Materials. I don't know if this situation, I think this came up last week, is revisiting itself, and not 100% exact same situation, exact same person, or exact same dynamic, but I feel like the story or the narrative is someone is rocking you, your thoughts, feelings, and dedication around something. And I feel there's part of you that may be looking at, like, again, how did I get myself in this position, but how do I need to handle this? I'm kind of tired of being let down. I don't know, again, if this is in terms of a certain role that you play in your life around work, around home, around a relationship dynamic, but something has definitely let you down and is not seeing you or valuing you the way that you should be. And it is disappointing. I can really see that for you Pisces. So, you know, sending love and support to you. But let's get you some guidance here on where to go with this, because let's have a look at the headspace. Yeah, freedom. Damn right. How do you get to the place of freedom? How do you get to the place of success? How do you get to the place of the person that you can rely on most is you, and that it's kind of like you're waiting for the chips to fall in support of this, but I think you also know you need the energy and the tenacity and the belief that this is where you can get to. But I think sometimes the how, and that's what could be on your mind here, is how do you do that? How do you get to this place of freedom and independence and strength, that you can be financially independent, that you can be successful in your own right, and you don't have to rely on other people to be able to support that, you know? So there is a different sense of freedom that I feel that's definitely on your mind here. Let's have a look at the near future. Yeah, Seven of Emotions. You're really looking at your options here, or you're being asked to look at your options. Look at your options. How do things look? When you connect into that thing, how does it feel? What do you need to do in consideration of that? Is that going to add to you? Is that going to take away from you? Is that going to get you a little bit uncomfortable? What other things that you may need to consider throughout this process to get to the best outcome that you need right now for your situation? Let's have a look at your power in this situation, friend. What's Pisces' power in this situation? Okay, we've got two energies. Okay. Muse of Inspiration, Eight of Inspiration. Okay. Why I like this. Muse of Inspiration is like the King of Wands. Okay. Fire energy, dedicated energy, knows how to show up, knows what needs to be done. You could have like a very strong support person around you to help drive something forward, to help drive a conversation forward, to help drive the motivation that you need towards a certain direction. But to remember, this is about your power. So I think it's getting aligned with your goals and the things that you need to do, Pisces. Even if you're in your feminine right now, I think, you know, for our ones who are more feminine dominant, it's to remember that sometimes you are going to need to shift gears to get the outcome that you desire. And sometimes that does require a bit of horse energy, working energy, okay? And I think there's another element when you know you need to sit back, because I think the more that you fire up something here with this Muse of Inspiration energy, that's when you're going to start seeing communication open up, conversations open up, getting really clear on what you want and what you're willing to do and how you're willing to show up. There's a definite energy that this holds. And I think when you sit in this space, remembering who you are, because I feel in terms of the masculine, it's just a matter of aligning your goals, right? I feel like the masculine knows quite well when to align their goals and go after it, but it's also remembering the energy, the effort, the confidence, the courage, the connection to the things that you're meant to be doing when they're really right on time, okay? So I know sometimes, you know, as a feminine, we don't really want to have to step into that energy, but I feel you're being called right now, or to lean into certain people that can help you open those conversations, drive that movement forward that you're really looking at here, because there is something about not staying stuck where you are, but it's also getting clear on that thing that you actually want as your strongest outcome right now, not maybe it is getting away from a certain environment or a certain person. Maybe it is strengthening your finances. Maybe it is recognizing what depletes you. What that key thing is that you need is something around the freedom part. And I feel like that's what you're being called and asked to do right now. Let's have a look at the environment around you. Yeah, 3 of materials. So again, this is foundational work that seems to want to show up here. Foundational work, expertise, strengthen who you are, strengthen the people that can bring together and work with you to get towards something that you really want here, Pisces, okay? So I don't feel this is a point of giving up. I think this is a point of strengthening the power, the people that you have in your life to really build on something that you know that you're capable of, that you know that you desire, that you know that you also are allowed to have, and I think that's an important part here of you're allowed to have things, you're allowed to feel a certain way, you're allowed to want to create a life that you want, and it doesn't need to look like anyone else's. Hopes and fears is the 8 of materials. So again, there seems to be a strong connection here around the work or around finances, Pisces. This is really showing up quite strongly. So work, finances, your position in something. The 8 of materials is really hoping that I feel you are recognized in terms of your expertise or what you bring to the table when you're in group format, when you're learning, when you're sharing information, when you're putting time, effort, and energy. There's something that's very particular about who you are and what you give in this world. I feel like it's a form of your own gifts and talents. And it doesn't matter what season you are in life. There is something that is just innate, that is calling, that is being asked of you right now to really step into that. And I feel like you're also hoping and desiring here that all the work that you've done, everything you've put into something that you want to get towards right now, that it is going to come to fruition. And I feel that quite strongly for you. In terms of the outcome, where is this all going for our Pisces? Thank you, Spirit. Okay. So there's 5 of inspiration, justice, and page of voices. Okay. So it seems like there could be some conflict right now on the way someone is approaching a situation. This energy really feels like that you're potentially not seeing eye to eye. Again, someone not doing the right thing. And I think there is, some form of communication that or insight or something in the way that someone is looking into something that it's just not really being supportive. I want to get more here on what this is about. Thank you. Yeah, someone's challenging something right now. I feel like challenging, I don't want to say your existence, but challenging and not realizing what you really are capable of. There's some underestimation here. I am going to get another deck and pull a few more cards here around this dynamic, because I feel like someone is challenging you or challenging this overall situation right now that is probably putting you in a bit of a pickle. Maybe, I know that's a funny bit of a pickle, but it just feels like you could be a bit frozen in decision because of the way someone is showing up here, and you're feeling a little bit stuck on which step to take, because I don't think you feel like, I think part you feel in control, part you feel like you have no control, and it's the way that someone is showing up in this dynamic. But I can see that this is a major letdown. But then there's also this part of you that goes, you know what, you've disappointed me, you let me down, I can see what's going on, but it's like, how do you push through this? Because there could be some past PTSD too around a situation that you've got to navigate. But I do feel there's a strong part of you and your successes in life and what you've done and what you've accomplished, or what you've learned and what you've overcome, So I think you're going to have some choices and options here, but it's also asking to look at them, Pisces, okay? So let's see what this advice is regarding this situation, because I feel there's a few more layers going on here that we need to think about or consider. Thank you, Spirit. What do we need to know in terms of this outcome? Door to value, caring connections. Okay, what do we need to know about this? Because this is interesting. The world, yeah. I feel like you have got help on the way. And I feel like if there is a shift in dynamic, this is on purpose, because what it's telling me here, there is conflict in the way something is done or the way something is produced or terms of the outcome. And there is about the communication is a key part, okay? I feel like someone is focusing on too many things, and I don't think that they've realized what they've put forward or how they've stepped into the situation they're not looking at all aspects. I feel like they're just looking at one part, what matters to them, and going for that, and not realizing the what's that word, like ongoing impact of something that it causes. And I feel like you maintaining your strength and standing up and not challenging the situation, but standing up to a way that's enough to go, I know what's going on here and I'm aware of what's going on. And just looking at the finer detail. But what I'm also acknowledging here, this door to value, care, and connection in the world is letting me know that for you, you have an opportunity that will be opening up. I feel like whatever's opening up, there's someone that sees your value. There's someone here that wants to support you. And in terms of the world, I feel like something is going to be presented to you that maybe you can't see yet. The world is a successful energy. It's an energy of opening, but it's also an energy of something, phasing out as well. Is there anything else we need to know about this situation? You've got Magician in the Mirror. We've got Angel of Balance, and then further to that, adjacent possibilities. So there's definitely something coming in that you really do desire here, Pisces, and I think it's working with that energy, because the Magician in the Mirror is part it is balance, but balance in what you think and what you feel, but also to the way that you look at things, okay? Because that's going to be an important piece, because I feel like you're manifesting here, and there is something about balance that's important in terms of this situation. But I feel balance is also energizing yourself in a way that supports you, okay? And I say energizing, that supports you, because there's something about this elixir that this Angel of Balance is connecting into. And recognizing that when she engages in that, when she looks after herself, this angelic energy, what it does and what it brings, and I feel like you're also seen and recognized in that balance, in that energy. And the Magician in the Mirror is also the fire and the ice, or fire and the water, or the way that something comes together. So there's a bit of yin yang energy, I feel, but it's also what you're putting out. And just remember that the moderation is needed, the allowance, but also the going after, because the manifesting part with Magician in the Mirror, if you're familiar with manifestation, it is getting clear on your want and in what you desire. A part of that is, acknowledging it, I feel, every day, but what you're willing to do, how you show up for that. But then it's the allowance and letting go in terms of that energy. But you do need inspired action as part of that. And the adjacent possibilities, it could be something that you don't see. You may find, like I said, that someone reaches out, connects with you, but I wonder what options you have available to you, or what you should be considering in navigating this as well, okay? Because I feel like that's going to be very important. To change it up a little bit today, I am going to ask an angel question, and I'm going to get 3 cards out here. So if you have a question, I'm not going to pull out 3. I'm just going to pull out 1. So if you have a question that you want to ask, let's get you some guidance on what this is and what you need to know. I've got something stuck randomly in my throat. Okay. What's the answer for our Pisces regarding this situation? What do they need to know? Thank you, Spirit. Okay. The card that you have got, dear friend, is perfect timing. Now is the perfect moment for you to act on your inspirations. The doors are open. While you walk through them with us by your side, don't delay or procrastinate. All of the ingredients are right for your success. Everything and everyone is on your side, supporting your positive outcome. Okay? This really, really just affirmed what is going on here. There are people here. I feel there's another energy here. There's something here and someone here that's really going to help drive this forward. I feel like you're going to get connected. Opportunities are going to present yourself with people that do want to work with you, that do want to create the things that you want to create, or lean into those parts of life that are relevant and important to you right now, that you're focusing on and looking for a way forward. I do feel you're being a bit challenged by someone, but I feel ultimately you will get to the right outcome for yourself, Pisces. And as I said, just look a little bit differently, maybe a bit outside the box, because I feel the adjacent possibilities are the outside the box energy. But it's also to, you know, I feel opening up conversation or looking at your options and having those that direction of conversation is really going to change things up. It could be someone that you know of someone that you know around this goal or around this thing that you want to achieve. So don't underestimate what you can do with this, even though you may feel a little bit stuck right now because of an energy, because of a person, or because of a situation, okay? There is a very strong way forward, but you've also got to be able to believe in yourself. And I think it's not worrying about the how, it's the things that you can do in between that will get you to the how. There is a very strong navigation and support energetically for you, okay? I'm going to leave it there, dear friend. Much love. Bye.